Welcome back to Pilates by Brianna. Today's workout, we will be using our reformer and the reformer box. That's the only other piece of equipment that you will need. We're going to be doing high repetitions for this workout, but we're going to be building up. So it'll be like 5 repetitions in one variation and then building up from that. And I want to make a point to say that because at any point you can always go back to the previous step, okay? So, and I'll remind you again as we're doing it, but I just wanted you to be aware of that. We're going to start with footwork. So I have my footwork springs on, 3 heavy reds, 1 medium blue. I have my foot bar in the up position, your choice of headrest up or down to start. And then we're going to get started. So go ahead, get your reformer set up, and then you can lay on your backs.
And I'm also grabbing a soft kneeling pad to place on the platform for later on. Go ahead and lay down on your back. We'll put the heels on the bar. Spine is in neutral. Take a moment to settle in here. Make sure you're in a comfortable position and begin pressing the carriage out and in using the glutes to press out. I like to exhale my way out, inhale to control it back in, keeping the spine neutral and just working through your flow here. And then press the carriage out, come halfway in, and begin with our pulses, pressing the carriage up an inch and down an inch. Nice, steady, really building up that warmth throughout the legs. Almost there. And then press all the way out and come back in. Slide the feet down so the toes are on the bar, heels will come together, toes will be separated. We're in a Pilates V, and then press the carriage out and in here. When you press out, think of bringing the inner thighs together, zipping up through the pelvic floor. And then when the carriage comes in, knees will open wide, about as wide as the shoulders. Last time all the way out, and then come halfway in for our pulses again. Little pulses up and down here. And press the carriage all the way out and bring it on home. Heels will go wide on the bar, hips are externally rotated, so knees are wider than the shoulders, and then begin pressing the carriage out and in here. When you press out, think of drawing the heels together. The heels and the feet won't actually move. It's just drawing that sensation to engage into our inner thighs. Two more. Last one. And then come halfway in for those pulses again. Little pulses here. Exhale to press the carriage all the way out. Inhale to bring it on in. Toes will go hip distance on the bar, high heel position. We'll press out here, keeping the heels lifted. Pause. Both heels will lower lift at the same time. Bend the knees and come in. So we'll press out, lower both heels, lift both heels, bend the knees and come in. Really working through our calf muscles. This will be the sequence of 1 press out and 1 heel raise. Make this one our last one. Bring the carriage in. And then we're going to press out, stay out, and we'll go into a calf stretch. Bend one knee, let the opposite heel drop, and we're going to hang out here for a few breaths. Feeling a nice stretch throughout the calf of the straight leg. And then go ahead and switch. Feeling a stretch in the second leg. And then you can straighten both knees, bend both knees, and bring the carriage on home. Heels will go back on the bar, lower the headrest down if it was raised. We're going to go into bridges, hands down by your side, heels hip distance apart. Tuck through the tailbone on your exhale as you begin peeling the spine up off the carriage. Inhale at the top, exhale to roll on down one vertebrae at a time. We're doing these nice, slow and controlled, a nice deliberate pace. Only going as high up as you feel comfortable. There's no prize for height. You shouldn't feel this in the neck or the low back. We've got one more here like this. Exhale up. Inhale at the top of your bridge. Exhale to roll on down. And then we're going to add on to this. We're going to add some leg movement. So now you're going to engage the core as you roll all the way up and stay up. Bring the left knee into your chest and then the leg overhead and begin to lower lift that left leg. We have 10 lower lifts. I want these to be slow and controlled. You're not rushing through this. Stay strong in the glute of the right side, and you're only lowering the leg down as far as you can while maintaining level hips. So I don't want that left hip to lower as you lower the leg. One more lower lift. And then you could bend that knee, left heel will go to the bar, lift the hips up a little higher. And then if you can, right leg will go up towards the ceiling and we'll go right into that right side. Lower lift that right leg. We have 10 of them. We'll go for 2. Last one. And then bend the right knee, heel will go to the bar, lift the hips up a little higher. Use your exhale to help you roll back down, keeping the core engaged. And then when the hips are all the way on the mat or carriage, heels will go wide and windshield wiper the legs side to side. And then you can roll to your side, come on up, and we'll make a few changes. You're going to lower the foot bar all the way down, and you're going to put on one heavy red spring and take off all the other springs. So you're left with just one heavy red, and we'll put the short box on. So go ahead, take a moment to get set up. And then you're going to come to kneeling on the carriage, facing the risers with the forearms on the box. Knees on the carriage. Strap will go in the right hand. I have the short loop, and this one will be one of the building sets. We'll start with a row. Bend the elbow as you row back and then control it forward. Working throughout that right shoulder blade. Keep the shoulder down away from the ears. Core is engaged. We're going to keep that same arm movement, but lift the left leg and then the left knee will be bent. And then you have the row. Left leg is going to stay in that hamstring curl position. And we're still doing the row with the right arm. Now you're going to straighten out the left leg, hold it there, and you have the row 5 times. 2 more. Last one. And then you'll come back into a row position again, hold it there with the left leg. You're coming across the body, lowering it down, and then back out in line with the body. So you're coming across the right leg and then back to your leg extension. We have 10 of these movements. Right arm is not moving. You're staying in that row, nice and controlled. Core is engaged to help stabilize everything here. Last one. Rest that left knee down and bring the carriage back in. You're going to take a quarter turn to your left. We're going to put on one medium blue spring, take off the red. Come to straddle the box. You have one foot on the headrest, the other one on the carriage. Pick up that front strap in your left hand, interlace your hands, and we're going to do chops. You're going from the left hip on the diagonal up across your body. So a nice chop, you're following it with your head. So you're following the arms. 2 more. Last one. And then we're going to add on with the legs again. Come to a squat, hover, and then you have the same chop motion. If standing does not work for you, you're going to stay sitting, straddling the box. 3 more here. 2. Last one. And then we're going to add in some movement. Start in a squat. As you bring the arms across, you're coming up to standing. As it goes towards your left hip, you're going back down to a squat. So we're just adding a squat to stand, still doing that chop motion with the arms. 2 more. Last one. And then you're going to stay standing, and now we have 5 of the chops standing. This set is a full body set, so your heart rate might be getting a little elevated here. Last one here. And then when the carriage is in at the stopper, you can come to sitting on the box. You're going to turn back so that you're sitting on the box, feet on the headrest. Strap is in the right hand, palm up. You're going to recline back. Left hand will go on the carriage. We're going to do bicep curls here. You're going to bend the elbow as you bring the strap in towards your shoulder and then straighten it out. And again, we're going to be adding in variations, so you can always take the previous variation or come back to this one. Now, as you do a bicep curl, you're going to march the left knee in towards your chest and then lower it back down. So we're just doing a march here. If you want to do both legs, that's an option. Last one. And then the next variation, you're either going to keep the left leg up or bring both legs up and then do 5 bicep curls here. So whichever one you're more comfortable with. 2 more. Last one. For the last variation, I'm going to go on to the long loop because we're doing a bicep curl and a punch overhead. Legs are in tabletop. As you punch overhead, option to straighten out the legs. And as you punch overhead, you're going to look towards the opposite shoulder. 2 more like this. You should be feeling a lot of core work. Last one. Good work, you guys. Bring the feet back down to the headrest, hang up the strap, come on off to your right, and we're going to put the box horizontal next to the carriage by the foot bar. We're going to do a side plank variation. You'll have your left forearm on the box, you're facing the reformer, come out to a side plank, and then the right foot will go up against the shoulder block, and you're going to press the carriage out and in here with that right leg. We'll go for 8. Staying strong through that left oblique. Last time out and in. We're going to make that a little bit more challenging, so you can stay there if you would like. Come back to your plank. And then you're going to bring the bottom foot up towards the shoulder block and then the top one. So we're hovering. And then press both feet out and in 8 times here. Two more. Stay strong. Last one. To come out of it, you can come back to your plank. I like to kind of push myself from the box onto the carriage. But go ahead, get out of that position in the way that feels safest for you. You're going to pick the box up, put it back on the carriage, short box position. Come to kneeling. We're going to change it back to that one heavy red spring. Take off the medium blue. And now we're going to repeat that from the row. So forearms will come to the box. Hands will go on the left strap, short loop. And we'll start with our row. Stay strong through the core as you bring the elbow to your side, squeezing around that left shoulder blade. and then control it back out in front. We have 5 of these, and then we'll be adding in that right leg. 3 more to go. 2. And last one. Now you're going to lift the right knee. The knee will stay bent, so a little bit more working into balance, and we've got 5 of the row here. Last one. And then you'll straighten that right leg out behind you, and we have 5 more of the row. Stay strong through that right shoulder. Core is engaged, spine is straight. 2 more. Last one. And then pull back, hold it there. With that right leg, you're going to go across the left leg and lower, and then back up to your hip extension. We have 10 going across the left leg, lower, and then raise it back up. Arm is not moving, it's there by your side, engaging around the shoulder blade. Last one. That knee will come back down to the carriage, bring the carriage in. Good work. You can hang up the strap. You're going to put on 1 medium blue spring, take off the heavy red, come to straddle the box with the right foot on the headrest. We'll pick up the front strap, interlace your hands, and we have the chops. With both hands, you're starting towards the right hip, and you're bringing it across the body and up overhead. You're following it with your head. So the head is going up on the diagonal and then down on the diagonal. This is the last one seated. And then if you did so on the other side, you'll come to your squat position. Squat, hover, holding it here, and we have 5 more of those chops. As you're rotating, lifting up and rotating, hips are staying forward. 2 more in this variation. Last one. And then we're going to add in the squat to stand. So as you do a chop, you're coming up to standing, and then sit back down to your hover. One more to go. And then you're going to stay standing, and we have the 5 of the chops here in a standing position. Last time. And then you can let the carriage come all the way into the stopper, sit on down, and you're going to turn to face the riser, sitting on the box, feet on the headrest. Strap will be in the left hand, palm facing up. You're going to recline, right hand behind you on the carriage for our bicep curls. Trying to keep the elbow in line with your shoulder if you can. We have 5 in this position before we add in a bit more core work. Last one like this. And now as we do a bicep curl, you're going to lift the right knee up and then lower it back down. One more here. And then the next variation, you'll either keep the right knee up or come into a modified teaser, and we have 5 of the curls here. Last one. And then for the final variation, I'm going to go to my long loop because we have the bicep curl with the punch overhead, straightening out the legs if you can, and you're looking over the right shoulder. A lot of core work here, and you're in pretty much a teaser position with the arm overhead. Lots of oblique working. Last one here. And then rest down. You can hang up that strap, come on off of the reformer. We'll take the box and we're going to put it next to the reformer by the foot bar. And it's going to be perpendicular to the foot bar. We have our side planks. You're going to have the right forearm on the box. You'll be facing the reformer. Bring the legs out straight so you're in a side plank position. And then with that top leg, you're going to put it on the closed shoulder block. I have to go around my dog here and begin pressing out and in here. The left hand can either be on your hip or on the box for additional support. We have 8 times pressing out with the carriage. 2 more, staying strong through your obliques. Last one. And then bring that leg down. Come back to your side plank position, and then if you took the other variation on the other side, you'll put both feet up against the shoulder blocks, and then you're pressing out and in here with both feet. We'll go for 8 again. Try not to let that right hip drop down, strong through the obliques. Last time out and in. When the carriage is in at the stopper, you can come out of that position. I'm pushing myself up onto the carriage as gracefully as I can, and then stepping off the reformer. I'm moving the box out of the way. I'm putting on one light yellow spring, taking off the medium blue. And then I'm coming to kneeling with my right leg, my right knee up on the platform, left leg on the carriage. We're going to go to an inner thigh stretch. I have my feet off of the edge there just for comfort. When you're in a kneeling position, you're going to bring the carriage out and then use the inner thighs to bring it back in. You can stay here on that yellow spring. If you want it more challenging, maybe go to no springs. If you want it less challenging, a little bit more assistance for the inner thighs, you can put on a medium spring. And then we're doing out and in here, nice and controlled. As you press out, you're keeping your weight center over both legs, so the trunk will be coming out a little bit too. And then zipping up through the inner thighs to bring the carriage back in. Two more. Last one. When the carriage is in at the stopper, you're trying to keep it connected to the stopper as you bring the hips back and then come back up to an upright position. So we're sitting back towards the heels just a little bit and then coming back to an upright position. Working into the front of the legs, but inner thighs are nice and active. Try not to let the carriage go out. You're trying to keep it against the stopper. Spine is straight throughout. Last time here, and then we're going to go into a combination. You're going to press the carriage out and then control it back in. Once it's in at the stopper, you'll sit the hips back, come back up to your tall kneeling. Press the carriage out, use the inner thighs to bring it back in, sit back, and then back to upright. Few more. One more to go here. Bring the carriage out, back in, sit back towards the heels and back up. Good work. You can put on a medium blue spring, step backwards off the reformer. We're going to come around, take the straps off the pegs and just kind of off to the side, carefully step into the well. We have a hamstring curl set. We're going to do it balanced today. We've done it with the box in the past. You're going to put your right heel against the top part of the shoulder blocks. Hands can be behind your head or at your waist. You're doing a hamstring curl. Pull the leg back in and then control it out. We're balancing through that left side. You're standing up nice and tall, looking at finding one spot to help you balance. And we have 2 more here. Last one. Good. Now we're going to keep the carriage in at the stopper. Keep that right leg straight. Hands can come to your hip or out in front of you. And we're doing mini squats. So bending into the left knee and then using that left glute to come back upright. As you sit down, you might feel a little stretch into the right hamstring. That's normal. But we're just doing a single leg mini squat. Time here, do that mini squat, come back up, and then we'll do a combination. You're going to pull that leg in, let it out, do your mini squat, and back up. Pull that, do that hamstring curl, let it out, and then your mini squat. Two rounds, hamstring curl, mini squat. Last round to go, hamstring curl, mini squat. And then you can take the right foot off of the shoulder block and we'll go right into the second side. Left heel is going to go on the top part of the shoulder block. We're standing on that right leg. And we'll start with our hamstring curls. Pull that leg in towards you, pulling the carriage in towards you, and then release it back out. Last hamstring curl. And then when the leg is straight, we'll keep it straight and we have mini squats with that right leg. So a single leg squat, sitting back, and then using that glute to come back upright. Two more. Last one. And then we'll do a combo. We have that hamstring curl, and then let it out, and then one mini squat. So just alternating through them. Last round here. Good work. And then you can take that left foot off of the carriage, carefully step out of the well. I'm going to put my straps back on now. And then we have that inner thigh set on the second side. So put on one light yellow spring to start, take off the medium blue, come to kneeling. You have the left knee On the pad, the right leg on the carriage, feet are off, and we have our inner thigh work. Keeping the weight center over the body, you'll press the carriage out, using inner thighs to pull it back in. If you want to take off that yellow spring, you can. Or if you want to put on a medium spring for some additional support, that's also an option. On our last one. And then when the carriage is in at the stopper, we're going to hold it there, and you're going to sit back towards the heel and then use the glutes and the quads to come back to an upright position. So our sit backs trying to maintain the connection between the carriage and the stopper. One, sitting back and then coming back to upright, and then we'll do the combo. You'll press the carriage out, pull it back in, keep the carriage in as you sit back, and then up to the tall kneeling. Press out, pull it in, sit back, and up to tall kneeling. And last time through here, press the carriage out, use those inner thighs to bring the carriage back in, sit the hips back, and then back up. Good work. You can put on one heavy red spring and bring the foot bar back to an upright position. Come to sit in mermaid with your left shin lining the shoulder block, so your right side is closer to the foot bar, right hand on the foot bar. Press out to your side bending, and then bring the carriage in and come into your counter stretch. And we'll do a few flowing through these. Out to side bend, and then back into your counter stretch. Pressing out, and then back in, counter stretch. And then we'll come to sit the other way and repeat that. Left hand on the foot bar. As you press out, come into your side bending. And then you'll come back into your counter stretch. Just stretching out the obliques after all that oblique work we did today. One more time through here. And then once you're done with that counter stretch, you're going to add on either one medium blue or one heavy red spring. So we're left with two heavy red or one red and one blue. Come to lay on your back, and we're going to finish with feet in straps. Feet will go in the long loops. We'll start with frog, heels together, toes apart, knees a little bit wider than your shoulders. press the legs out as the inner thighs come together, and then bend the knees to bring the carriage back in, knees going a little wider than the shoulders, trying to maintain that heel connection the entire time. When the legs are straight, bring them straight up towards the ceiling, and we'll do our hip circles. Pull them straight down, circle around and back up and together, and repeat. So we'll do a few hip circles, just loosening up the legs after some of that leg work that we did. A little stretch into the inner thighs. And then when the legs are overhead, we'll reverse it. Legs will go wide, around and down. They'll find each other and come back together up through center. 3 more here. The legs are overhead. We'll pause here, open the legs out wide, and we're going to stay here for an inner thigh stretch. You can grab hold onto the tape if you would like and gently rock your body side to side, as long as that feels okay. Just getting a nice stretch here and slowing down our heart rate. Bring the legs back together, up towards the ceiling. You're going to bend one knee and keep the other one straight. Pull on the strap of the straight leg for a stretch throughout that whole back part of the leg, the hamstrings and the calf. Have the foot flex towards you for more of a stretch into the calf. And then go ahead and switch. And keep your hips down on the carriage for this stretch too. Don't let the hips come up. And then you can bend both knees. Bottoms of the feet will come together for a butterfly stretch. Knees will go wide. You can either press on the knees for more of a stretch or pull on the straps, whichever one feels better for you today. And then you can take your feet out of the straps and you are all set for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the workout. If so, please make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.